Guys, if you haven't already, make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It helps us more than you could imagine. Would you, let's say tomorrow...
Am I shagging an alien?
No, check me out. Let's say tomorrow they reveal aliens and like, just, they're on Mars, so on the other side of Mars, you can't see them, but yeah, they live there and are actually really friendly.
Yeah.
We're going to go and move there in the next 20, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And some of them are going to come down here and live with us for a bit.
Well, like an exchange program.
So they're going to send, let's say they send down like, I don't know, fucking 20 million people.
Do you know how schools would do like, oh yeah, I'm doing a year abroad in thingy. So these alien dons are like, yeah, I'm doing a year abroad in Earth. Oh mate, good luck. Yeah, I heard it stinks of shit.
Let's say they send down 20 million of them guys.
Quite a big exchange.
It's a big exchange, but let's say they scatter them about different countries, so they can fit into human society and everyone can start to accept them. All right, let's say they do that. Okay, you meet an alien chick. Mm-hmm. She's learning English.
Yeah.
She their accents, they speak like very watery. Okay, sounds
watery.
Sounds like
diluted accent.
Sounds like I've got a lot of liquid in their mouth when they're trying to speak. Okay.
Right.
Will you smash it?
She got back.
Yeah, they got back, but it's a complete different sexual thing
really?
Going on.
It's like jelly.
It doesn't look like a vagina.
Oh really?
Yeah, but it's still completely.
What am I porking?
I don't know. Let's say it looks like a fucking. I don't know. Like a sock.
A sock.
Yeah, like it's fabricated.
Like a used sock.
Like it's fabricated.
Oh. Like an Under Armour.
Yeah.
Like Under Armour stuff that you wear.
Lube has to be used. It's special alien lube.
Okay.
Yeah, and they sell it at like 7-Eleven.
She squeezes that lube out of her arse.
Yeah, it's
like a hand dispenser,
yeah,
and then you put it on
that,
your...
but I was thinking they sell them at Nisa, but I like.
That, you like that one. Am I doing it? Do you know what? I think regardless of your situation, I think you'd have to pork an alien. Just is more like a bucket list thing.
Yeah.
To say and then you jump in a group chat, you'd be like, fellas, I've gone and porked an alien. Thoughts?
I reckon if they came down and lived here, though, we wouldn't be allowed to call them aliens.
No,
that would be a bit.
We'd get cancelled for that, probably.
Yeah, we would get cancelled.
So what would you have to call them?
Whatever their race is called. The Hemojis.
The Hemojis.
Yeah.
I porked an Hemoji.
Yeah. The Hemojins. They're from the yeah.
I like that.
The Mojis.
The
from the planet Mars.
Oh, the Mojis.
Yeah.
Porked emoji.
But they're big fans of emojis. So we call them the emojis.
Yeah. And their faces are just different emojis.
Yeah, they send too many emojis on WhatsApp.
Okay.
That's why they're called emojis.
This conversation's gone left.
It's like we're high as fuck.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
but
How about that?
Check me out though.
Yeah.
Would you have emoji kid?
It would be like a half.
It's going to be
slimy green.
Hint of green.
Hint of green.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would be wild, bro. I think I'd be down for that shit.
I think you could yeah. Why not? Why not?
He probably will have some powers as well, some special powers.
Is that what they have?
I'd raise him to be like an evil Superman.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you're gonna have to elaborate on that.
So I'd want him to destroy most of the world.
Right.
And I'll be by his side.
Right.
Yeah, there's a film called Brightburn. You ever watched it? It's like a kid that lands. It's kind of like Superman, but he's, instead of him being good guy Superman, he's some evil kid.
That sounds like a terrible movie, actually.
No, that's a great idea. Instead, doing an alternate universe where the superheroes are actually not, because superhero movies.
Avengers, bro. I
swear.
That's
what I mean. They're all very lovely. Cliche always happens. They're really good. I love them, but it's all very. Oh yes, this is gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Save the world.
And
the
great guys, they always get the girl. Blah blah blah.
So you just want one that just an asshole
trying to see
all the time.
I'm trying to see a Marvel movie, where it's of a character, but it's a complete opposite. Okay.
I swear those exist already.
Nah, of a famous character that's normally good.
Okay.
But a version where he's bad.
And what? He's just your child, and you're gassed that he's just being an absolute dick.
Yeah. You ever seen
that would be terrible
Amazon program The Boys?
No, I've heard it's good though.
You would like that because it's quite the opposite of the superheroes, and they just kill everyone.
You watch some shit movies, man.
Bro, The Boys is great. A lot of people in the comments are going to be like,
once again, Cal's cancelled for his fucking...
Cancelled for the fucking 5th time this week. But yeah, no, I'd definitely get on with emoji.
Yeah. You're giving them that meat scepter. They're getting
rock emojis. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I want to talk about something else now, Chip. I'm fed up of your weird like.
You didn't enjoy emojis.
You're porking
crazy
emoji stories.
You're crazy.
We actually, speaking of crazy stories, we actually got one DM to us, and this one was fantastic.
Oh, this one was fucking wild.
This was fantastic, and we needed
tune in for this.
Boy, oh boy, do you need to tune in for this, right, guys? Here we go. Let me pull this up real quick.
Yes, sir.
If you guys don't already, please, any relationship advice, things like that, please send them into our at the fellas Insta on Instagram. That's what it's called, at the fellas Insta. So, anyways, here we go. We have got a fella named Gene. All right, Gene said, "Hey fellas, got a random but genuinely incredible story here for you. So in primary school, when I was around 8 or 9 years old, I had a mate whose parents had moved to the UK from Spain before he was born. He was one of my best mates and we hung out all the time. He was generally, I think the word he's supposed to use here is genuinely. He was genuinely quite shy and kept himself to himself. One day, I was at his house, and it was the middle of winter, back when it actually snowed in the UK. So we were having a snowball fight in his garden. His dad joined in the snowball fight, and it was so much fun. In fact, when I was at his house, his dad often talked to me and joined in on the games that we played. He was a really lovely guy, and he and his wife were great friends with my parents. My sister was also best friends with their daughter, a few years younger than him. An extra thing to note is that they didn't own a car, so they cycled and walked everywhere, and they rarely ever left the town that they lived in. Mm-hmm. This is where things get interesting. One day, my mum heard a story on the radio that seemed strange. Local police were conducting a manhunt for someone in the area. Apparently, the man in question had fled to the UK some years ago and was wanted by the Spanish government. My mum laughed at the idea of it being my mate's dad and shared the story with some of her other friends who laughed too, thinking it was ridiculous that such a lovely guy they'd known for many years could possibly be wanted by a foreign government. The next day I went into school as normal, but my mate didn't turn up. I assumed he was ill, but no one seemed to know where he was, and my parents hadn't heard from his family either. Suddenly, what had been an unthinkable possibility became a reality. My friend's dad had been arrested. But it wasn't until a few days later that we heard the incredible reason why he had been arrested. My friend's dad was actually a wanted terrorist.
Boom.
Who had been involved in a plot to assassinate the Spanish king in 1997. The planned attempt on the king's life was uncovered, and while the other conspirators were caught, he had escaped and fled to the country with his wife, where they took on new identities and new names. The names we had known them by our whole lives. The news was shocking, and I had to say a teary goodbye to my best mate. Still not really understanding what was going on because I was only like 8. When he and his family went back to the Basque country, I think that's the north of Spain. 6 months later, where his dad was imprisoned for 92 years, lad. 92 years.
This story is fucking mad, by the way.
It is. Not many people can say they've had a snowball fight with a terrorist.
Mate.
Lot of love for the pod. I've linked to a local news article about the story.
I'm crying because you've got... I didn't even mean to do it, but he's crying over there as well.
Why? What's happened?
Because as you tell him a story and you go, turns out he was a terrorist. I've gone, boom. Just like, boom, that's the punchline. Yeah. And then he starts laughing. I've gone, oh, I know I've done it.
Mate, what
that is one of the maddest stories we've actually had, though. Oh, I'm in tears.
That is, mate, honestly, yo, shout out Gene there. I didn't want to reveal your identity. I don't know how much you care about it.
That is one of the craziest stories we've had sent in. Like, could you just, like, the guy, your snowball fights him. You're chilling with him.
It was just a nice bloke, supposedly.
Not only that, but in the article that I read, apparently he killed a police officer when they were being chased away from
whatever it
the
was.
scene. But you'll have to do more research on that. But that's what I read.
Mate, what an absolutely incredible story that is. So yeah, shout out to you, man. That is honestly, and not only that, but it was a well-written story. Big up people, very eloquent. So shout out to you.
That.
Mate, I mean, that's something like stories like that. I've got nothing, mate. I've got nothing that can top something like that.
I don't have anything quite that good. I've got my bin run story, and
you're bin, yeah,
that's
exactly.
getting me through life.
That's a classic.
Yeah, I tell that at bars a lot.